Email. Can't live with it. Can't live without it. Since it's not going away as one of the most effective ways to communicate digitally from an accountability and organization standpoint, we just got to figure out how to keep it from dominating our day. I receive hundreds of emails every day, but I never spend more than 30 minutes in my inbox. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the best tool I have ever used that immediately and significantly reduces the amount of time you spend in your inbox. The tool I'm talking about is Sanebox, and they're also generously sponsoring this episode of Amy TV. The first time you ever heard me talk about Sanebox on this channel was nearly 8 years ago, and I've been using it longer than that. Not only was it instantly saving me time the moment I activated it, it has gotten significantly smarter over that time, keeping me organized. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you head to sanebox.com/AmyTV. There is a 14-day free trial of Sanebox waiting for you there. You're going to want to do that because as we walk through this video, you're going to be able to do all of the things that I'm showing you and immediately see how it's going to save you time and start organizing your inbox with barely even a thought. So whether you're a Gmail user like me or you're using any other email client like Office 365 or iCloud or something else, go get the free trial right now and give it a shot so you can see how you can save time immediately. Oh, and by signing up with my link, you get a $25 credit on a Sanebox subscription just because you're a friend of Amy TV. The biggest reason that people spend too much time in email is because they're faced with too many decisions. You know you've heard me say that before. That's the problem with everything that has to do with wasting time. It's really hard to zero in on what's most important when there's too much noise distracting you with all of the options for your attention. Thus, mass amounts of time wasted. You see things that might be a little harder to deal with, so you go for the easier things first. The easier things are probably unnecessary altogether and shouldn't have even been opened in the first place. You get the gist. We want to avoid that happening entirely. This is what makes Sanebox a no-brainer. You are more productive in your email before you've even opened it because you have this service working for you. So consider it this way. Sanebox would be like if you hired an assistant to go into your inbox and sort through every email that you get to prioritize it, label it, and move it around to be more conducive for a working experience for you. Your assistant does all of this so that the most critical and time-sensitive emails that you need to go through are the first and hopefully only thing you see the moment you jump into your inbox. It's literally bringing sanity to your inbox. The name couldn't be more appropriate. By using smart filters to read through each one of your emails and determine the importance of each one, Sanebox moves things to the appropriate place so that you can see what's most important based on what it's learned over so many years of reading through so many types of emails and on what you teach it about the nuances of your own email activity. So while it's already very smart about the types of emails you're getting and what you really need to see, you can teach it to be even more personalized. The best way to see it in action is to activate it. So let's dive in. So I have an inbox pulled up here that has not ever had Sanebox installed in it. So you can see what it looks like to go from a really messy inbox to cleaned up in an instant. We're going to go to sanebox.com/AmyTV. And if you're a Gmail user like me, you can choose that option. If you have a different email client, just go through the appropriate prompts to get it activated in the right way. So while confirming setup, we're going to walk through some of the basic filters Sanebox has to offer. And there are so many different ways to customize filters with Sanebox, but these are some of their really like best hits that tend to go over really well right off the bat and get you very organized. You do not have to activate every single one. So the first one they have here is Sane Black Hole. This is not the same thing as reporting something as spam. This is the same thing as saying, I really don't care if I ever see an email from this person ever again, but I don't necessarily think I can control whether I get it or not. So if there's not some way to easily unsubscribe, or you just don't want to go to the effort of figuring out unsubscribe, you can easily move something to Sane Black Hole and it will always go into the black hole and you don't ever have to concern yourself with it again. Sane Receipts is a great option for keeping track of maybe some accounting tasks that you have, whether it's personal finances or business. That's a great option here. Receipts, coupons, things like that. And you know that we're in this mess to begin with because we signed up for too many newsletters and mailing lists. Maybe they said we would get a huge coupon if we signed up, and so we did, and their newsy news emails just keep on coming. Sane News is a great place for these options, especially if you like to shop your newsletters or read through them, but you don't want them in your face the second you get into your inbox. And Sane Later is like the OG filter that they have always had, where you can just assume anything that's pretty unimportant that doesn't have these other qualifications is going to end up insane later. So there's going to be a couple of other filters that they'll introduce to you as those initial filters are getting set up. I love this one that is a little bit newer. It's called Saying No Replies. And this is a filter just for emails that you've sent out that have not been replied to yet, so that you can go into it and see, are you waiting on hearing from someone, or it can remind you that you haven't heard back from someone. If you want to snooze an email for a later date, like tomorrow, next month, you can use some of their smart filters based on timing so that that email will bounce back to you when it is more sensible for you to reply to it. So now if you head back to your inbox, you'll notice you're going to have some getting started emails from Sanebox, especially in each of those filters, so that you know what each of those filters are and how you might use them. But you'll also notice that all those emails that were there before have potentially been sorted through and put into your Sane files. Click through each of them, take a look at the instructional emails, and just see if there's any pertinent information there that helps you understand what you need to know about each of those filters. If you feel like there's a couple in there that maybe you don't want right now, then you can decide, let's just get rid of this one. I don't think I'll use it very often. Keep it clean the way that you want your inbox to look, because if now it looks like something that is harder for you to manage, that defeats the purpose of it. But another important thing is to go through those filters and see where your emails went and where they're now going to live. And if you see one that you're like, actually, I don't want this one in my news filter, I want to make sure I get 1 minute productivity from Amy every single week. So I'm going to drag that email to my inbox so that I can train Sanebox to know that this newsletter gets treated a little bit more special. You might notice that someone that sends you emails for some reason is getting categorized in one of these filters and shouldn't be. And just the simple drag and drop of that email from that sender is going to help train Sanebox to make sure that that continues to get on your radar in a different way in the future. So don't worry if something went to the wrong place. It's as simple as dragging and dropping it where it's going to go. And you will actually get emails from Sanebox in the future saying, hey, you trained a couple of these emails to do things differently. We want to confirm that that's what you want to continue to see in the future. And they will verify those trainings that you do. This is really great for making sure that nothing falls through the cracks and that you do have each email going to the right place. This is what makes this a sustainable organization model going forward for your email. It only continues to get smarter because you continue to show it how. Literally just by activating Sanebox, you should have the most critical and important emails that need to be reviewed in your face, in your inbox, and everything else moved out of the way. So without even having to think, you are going to spend less time in your inbox now because there's less distraction from all the other emails in the world. Now that you have the most critical emails in front of you, we have to actually handle them, right? My most important tactic for doing this, because I receive so many inbound emails, is to help people email me better. This may or may not be advice that you can take depending on what type of employment that you have or the way that you typically manage your email or manage working with other people. But I always have a vacation autoresponder turned on. You know what I'm talking about. That autoresponder that your boss tells you, make sure you turn that on the day that you're leaving because I want to make sure that everything gets handled appropriately and people know that you're not going to reply to them. That I have on all the time. Okay. Not just for the 1 week I take a vacation. All of the time, there's a vacation autoresponder on. And the reason for that is because I want there to be specific instructions that go back to somebody who's trying to get a hold of me to help them understand how they can better communicate with me. As you can see here, this is what my autoresponder looks like. Anyone who emails me is going to have this automatically kick back to them so that they know what to do next. Everything from, are you trying to partner with me on a sponsorship? Do you want to hire me to speak? Do you want to buy bulk copies of my book? Are you just trying to send me a link to something? Are you trying to get me to hire you? Any of that stuff, it gets handled by one of these prompts. And it also pretty plainly says, because of the way that I run my business, I get too many emails to reply to everyone. So I may have seen what you sent over, but I'm probably not going to reply if it's not relevant to me. Just so you know, in my particular line of work, there is a very high likelihood that I am getting an email from someone who literally just found my email address on the internet and they don't actually care about me individually. So this is a part of the business. I have to make sure I let those people know you didn't try hard enough, so I'm not going to reply to you. Now, if they change their mind and they see this autoresponder and they see that there is a specific step that they can take, like, oh, we want to partner with you, you may have mass emailed that initially, but now you're saying, oh, no, we want to hear back from you. You're going to take a special step that I have instructed you to take because of this email responder. And now we can have a relationship going forward. But it is not on me to reply to every single email I get because most of them have been delivered in a spammy capacity. This works for me. But there might be a couple things here that could work for you because of how things end up getting filtered anyway. If there's something you tend to say to someone a lot in an email because you're not the right person to send that inquiry to, then maybe something like this makes sense for you. Your email has been received. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. However, if you're asking about X, make sure you do Y. And that is really helpful a lot of the time. And you might think that this email could be annoying to people, but if it tells them how they can get what they want, why would you not do that? So don't discount this right away as something you can't do. It might be something you can do in your own way. Now, you probably noticed in my inbox that it didn't look like a totally basic Gmail from the start. I have a side filtering process for the actual workflow of going through the emails when it's time to go through emails I actually need to handle. You've seen me talk about this in a video that I posted a couple years ago. It's called Organize Your Inbox Like a Real Boss. Everything in this video, from how you set up that multiple inbox filtering system to how I then go through each email and decide where it goes and how it gets handled, is the same that I've been doing since I posted this video. So I really do recommend, as like kind of a part 2, that you go back and watch this one to see what does it look like when an email actually does need to be addressed by me, because that's where I'm spending my 30 minutes per day. The combination of having Sanebox remove the noise to the appropriate place for the appropriate time, and that process that I outlined in that video is what makes it possible for me to focus on my creative work, do what's most important to me, and get to the people who matter the most, that are bringing in the most revenue to my company, helping me achieve my goals, helping me make sure my life is organized and exactly the way I want it. Me get to those emails first to handle them in a very short period of time per day at the highest level of performance and productivity possible. And that is how I spend less than 30 minutes in my inbox every day. As a matter of fact, some days I don't even check it. I don't have to. There are enough processes in place to help me focus on what's most important. Thanks again to Sanebox for sponsoring this episode of Amy TV. Head over to sanebox.com/AmyTV for that 14-day free trial. I promise you're going to want that $25 credit if this works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, you probably don't have that many emails. So I wish that was me. I wish it was me that didn't have that many emails. Not the case. Just not the case.